Thanks for listening to the Kojima Frequency. If you're enjoying the show and want to help support it, make sure to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/KojimaFreak. This week on the show, we have writer, YouTuber, and voice actor, Suzi Hunter.
We'll like this. I know if you've listened to the show, I know it doesn't sound like we'll like this because it gets edited afterwards and it sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I edit the hell out of us, so it all comes together really nice. Hey, I'm Fingers.
Yo, it's ApacheSmash.
Hey everyone, this is DaysAhead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency.
I've listened to like most of the episodes,
Holy shit.
honestly.
Oh god, this makes me so nervous.
That's awesome.
So I'm very familiar with you guys because you guys have interviewed a lot of my friends, so it's like, oh, like I start there and then I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I also replayed like every MGS game recently. So I was like having you guys on while I was playing them, So
Yeah.
it was like it was like a surreal experience,
It's been cool seeing you post about it. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, she's prepping for the show. It's like, but also just playing Metal Gear a lot, just because like not a huge
having a good
difference.
time.
It's, yeah,
It was definitely funny replaying 4 and being like, oh yeah, fuck.
I get it now. I
The
see.
fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
That's one
Hey.
I like replayed with my girlfriend recently, and it just I was sitting there like I couldn't really like defend it all the way. I'm like, nah, yeah, I get it. No, this is half of this shit's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Like, okay,
I've been telling you.
No, it's definitely, it's funny because I started playing the series at the first MGS game, like on PS1 in
Mhm.
the year 1999. So I've kind of like played them all in order as they've come out. And I remember when I got to 4, something definitely felt off about it,
Yeah.
but it was still really fun. And like I was way younger, like obviously, than I am right now. And so I was like, I guess more forgiving of it, back in the day. But I feel like my opinion on it has only soured as time has gone on, and
Oh,
like
we're going to get along just fine.
yeah, yeah. Well, and also I'll say MGS2 is my favorite. So
Yes.
I
Same.
and that game, like it really it means a lot to me. Like Raiden in that game specifically is like one of my favorite characters ever. So I don't know, like you get to like MGS4 and you're like, oh, it's like he's doing the same thing again and he's like sad again. And it's like, why is he sad again? I don't want him to be sad again. I want him to be like, I don't know. I don't even want him to be in this game. I want him to be like off, like you maybe hear about him in the background or something. Why is he a fucking robot now? I hate this actually, And then like I feel like MGR kind of like gave me a little bit of what I wanted in that regard, but it just made him more of a robot. And I was like, I don't want him to be a robot. I want him to be a happy, normal man with his family. God damn it.
It's strange with the end of 2 where Rose is like, see me for who I am. And he's like,
Yeah.
I will. And then he woke up the next day and was like, you know what? Actually, no, I won't.
Yeah. I'm going to go out and go to the bar and get beat up and come back all messed up. And then my colonel, who wasn't real, will now become real, I guess, and like
God.
have a relationship with you.
I want to see that conversation so bad. Like,
Yeah.
real
Oh
Colonel
my
walks in
God.
and Raiden just starts sweating.
Yeah, like holy shit! Wait, I thought you were, I thought you were not real. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of, I feel like I have a lot of hot takes on the franchise, but like for things that people don't really argue about usually, like I'm always like, I don't know, Raiden deserved better. Like,
Agreed. One of my distinct memories in 2024, even though the year hasn't finished yet, is Apache arguing drunk at MagFest with Vermilion. Shout out Vermilion, who kept insisting that MGS4 Raiden was quote unquote raw, like a good raw. We're like, no, man, no, it's a tragedy. You gotta just.
he's like undercooked raw. That's the kind of.
no, he was raw.
He was
like-
Who the fuck is this person? He's raw. No, he isn't raw. He doesn't make sense to the character that's been established. But he's raw, bro. No, he isn't. He's raw. Like the worst dog shit character. He's a cyborg man.
Apache, I didn't realize when you got fucked up you turned into Nitroid.
No, because Nitroid runs about 5.
That game has kind of it's funny you bring it like MGS2 and MGS4. It's like one is aged like wine and one is just kind of aged like milk, and it's just I don't know. It's
A little bit, yeah.
It's just more like a perspective thing though, because when I was playing through it for the first time, it was more just like I just need closure to this story. Like this is the last one that I need to play, and you know I didn't
No,
get
you
a
don't.
PS3 for so long, and then yeah I got all that, and I was just like cool. That's what Fox Alive is. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
You got the
Yeah.
answers to all your questions. Isn't
Exactly.
it great?
You know, yeah, you finish it and you're like, did I actually want all the answers to all my questions?
Yeah, this is what a game made under duress looks like.
For sure, yeah.
The Wario meme. I won, but at what cost?
Yeah, at what cost? It's like one of those things where because I'm a huge fan of horror games and like survival horror games specifically.
I've heard.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm sure.
that's so cool. Tell us more.
So I've always kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this about MGS2 specifically, but it feels like a horror game, like a lot
Yes.
of the time. And like,
Mhm.
even like when you first turn the game on and like the main menu like fades into view and the song starts playing, it kind of has this like espionage spy thriller vibe, but then it like you hear like this like distorted digital like choir like humming in the background and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's a little ominous.
It's
Like,
super
what-
dissonant. Yeah, you're
what's
just like, wait, what's
happening?
going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Things start
exactly.
feeling wrong very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like the colonel who you think you know is like just lying to you. Literally everything he says is a lie, and you're like, what is going on here? You know, like what's happening? And then obviously the Arsenal Gear stuff happens, and it's like full survival horror. Like you have no anything, no resources, no nothing.
I can't remember the source for this, so fact check me later. But if I remember right, Kojima said something like, every character in the game lies at least once, which is something he borrowed from the movie L.A. Confidential.
Oh, that's cool. Never heard that.
Yeah,
Be live me.
yeah, I think that's true.
Oh, God, that line. I want to know how they translated that.
You want to know something? I actually replayed MGS2 yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Just for this, just so I could refresh my brain on it. I skipped a few of the cutscenes, but I did blast through it and got like all the dog tags on the plant at least, and did all of my little strats. So
Hell yeah.
I'm ready to talk about it. But anyway,
Good, because we're gonna drill you on lore here in a minute.
There is a test that you do have to pass.
Yeah.
oh shit.
And if you don't pass it, we just don't publish the episode. Sorry, we should have told you this
okay.
sooner.
We burn all recordings.
Oh my god.
I can't believe Jim Piddock passed it, man. It was really good.
That guy knew his stuff.
He plays like he doesn't, but
Oh my god. I don't know. Should I go into my origin story, my backstory about like who I am and all that?
go off, yeah.
Okay, I'll go off. I don't know. I guess just for the people that don't know who I am, my name is Suzi Hunter, and I run the Sphere Hunter channels on the internet. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm a huge horror game fan specifically, and yeah, I always like to talk about this whenever I do like interviews or podcasts, like where in the year 1999 I played Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 like back to back. But that whole year was actually like the most formative year for me for video games just overall. Because that's when I played like FF7 and 8, and then I played Metal Gear Solid, RE's 1, 2, and 3. And so it kind of like immediately shaped me as a person, and I became a fan of all of those things for life, and I'm still a fan, for better or for worse.
A fan, and I would argue a scholar of these things.
Oh
Because
my
I learned
God,
so
yeah.
much from these videos. I'm a huge fan.
I know too much, yeah, especially about Resident Evil. God, I really want to. Can I just say I really want to make videos on at least MGS 1, 2, and 3. Just those three. Like the
Hell yeah.
definitely those three. We'll see about the rest later.
Before it got weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's just too much. It's just too much to think about sometimes. But like 2 was kind of like that was like the brain capacity is full, and then like turns out like we couldn't even fully grasp the meaning of that game for at least 20 years, until like just a few years ago. It's like, oh yeah, we're living in that right now.
Oh, this is the disinformation age. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, this is the junk filter that we needed. Shit.
It's a game that like stays continually relevant. Like every single year, people are like, "Oh my god, this is like what's happening now," and then a few years later, people play it again, like, "Oh my god, it's just like what's happening now." It's managed to just stay relevant permanently.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna say the same thing when we make our own mechs and stuff, in like another 20 years.
Exactly, like different aspects of the game becoming relevant in the present. Like it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts about MGS2 specifically, and like, God, I don't know if I want to like really, really get into it, or if I should like save it for a video in the future. But like, yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to talk about, especially with like Raiden specifically. I feel like I shit you not, I am I am a huge fan of Raiden. Like he's one of my favorite characters, like specifically from that game. Like I said before, like it kind of goes downhill a little bit after 2, but
He's kind of like a pod person in MGS4. It's like, who is this guy? Who is this person? Who is? I don't know who this is. This is not the character that I know. But
why is Gray Fox wearing a Raiden skin suit?
yeah, exactly.
I'm the same. Like I didn't even find out that people disliked Raiden until probably a decade later. Like
Right.
I played the game and I
Oh,
loved him. I loved that
was-
character. He's one of my favorite characters. And I was obsessed with him. And then years later, I found out that loads of people hated him. I was like, wait, why? He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's not Snake. That was basically it.
No, he's taller and a better shot.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, true. He shoots Vamp, right? And
Yep.
what is Snake doing? What are you doing, Snake? What's going on?
He's thinking about dating the woman that's currently getting murked.
Yeah,
by a
which
vampire.
is like, I've thought about that for a lot of years, and I don't want to ever think about it again. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, how old is she again? It's like, no, thank you. But yeah, I could tell you guys my exact like thought process. I played MGS2. I loved it. I didn't really understand why I loved it. I had to replay it a bunch of times to figure that out. I'm still figuring that out. I played MGS4. Like Nitroid said, I was like, did Gray Fox come back to life and grow his hair out? Like, is this that character, And then when I saw the trailer for Metal Gear Solid Rising, I was more interested. I was like, oh, okay. And like when you start to hear things like, oh, this is like a story about like that spans a few different time periods in this character's life, and like it's about this or that and whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm on board. And then it resurfaces as a different game, and I was a little more, but I was still like interested, and like what I remember when they showed that trailer where he throws the Metal Gear, I was like, I don't care how like implausible or stupid that is and looks, like I feel cool just seeing that happen, But like, yeah, it's just fun and stupid and over the top. But like, I do remember when I played it and I listened to some of the codec calls, which like I feel like not many people have ever done the codec in that game. Like I always like talk about it and people are like, what are you talking about?
There's a codec?
Yeah, there's stuff hidden in there.
Yeah, there's good stuff in there for sure.
Remember, if you quit on us, you either return it or you buy it.
Yeah, Boris. I remember the first 5 times you told me.
Yeah, it gets breezed past. It gets absolutely breezed past.
The way Raiden speaks, like to his comrades in the codec in that game, I feel like is the guy that I imagined him to be, like after 2. Like he sounds way older. He sounds way more gruff, and he sounds like a little bit more I guess like playful. Like he's not just like, who am I? What's going on? Like
These rifles Desperado's using. Mac 200s, right? Same as Maverick's standard issue. Nice weapon. Not that any gun is much use against a cyborg.
Duh.
Yeah, he's confident.
Like, yeah, he has a little agency.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. He's got agency. And like I remember just being like so excited about that and happy about that. But yeah, like and then just nothing. Now we have nothing. There's no more games. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll get some new stories at some point.
Maybe.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, like the series continuing.
I can't for the life of me work out why there isn't a second Rising game, because it sold well.
It's insane, right?
It's well loved.
Yeah.
Like, how have they not done a second one?
Kojima even pushed for one, but couldn't get it greenlit, apparently. He wanted, like, a sequel with Gray Fox fighting... I swear to God, I'm not making this up. You can look up the tweet. He said he wants a sequel to Rising starring Gray Fox where he fights nanomachine zombies, and he couldn't get it through. Oh, just say it.
All right, wait a minute. Hold on. Just
say it.
I remember watching an interview with Kojima, like, I think it was like shortly after Survive came out.
I was about to say, yes, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I was about to, all right, we got there, good.
Like somebody, it was like some kind of panel or some kind of Q&A, and like somebody asked him about that, and he was like, Metal Gear Solid has never been about zombies, guys.
メタルギアサバイブって監督のアイデアだという噂をネットで見ましたが、そうなんですかというご質問です。お答えいただけますか？
全然関係ないですよ。全く知りません。監
督、ニコ生が弾幕がすごいことになってます。
いやだって関係ないじゃないですか。だって僕どうしようかな。ですね、僕の中ではですよ、これ僕の中ですよ、メタルっていうのは、ポリティカルフィクションでありエスピオナージものなんでね、ゾンビなんか出るわけないじゃないですか。
そうですよね。はい。
Except for all the times it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many zombies in this franchise.
And the Phantom Pain, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're in 4, for crying out loud.
Guys, I literally just replayed Phantom Pain, and do you want me to tell you how many eliminate the wandering puppets fucking missions I just did?
All right, so Suzi,
oh my God.
Have you played Survive though? Because
here we go.
Oh God.
I was looking through and I didn't see anything on Survive, like at all. Like when I was trying to look through your stuff, and I was like, so I don't know how you feel about it.
I did. So I played it and I finished it when it first came out.
Nice.
And I didn't hate it, but I also didn't really I wasn't.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I wasn't like moved by it.
Sure,
you know?
yeah, that's not a game to move you for sure. It's just like fun. It's kind of like that's just stupid fun multiplayer stuff, right? Yeah.
It was addictive, but I did hear and I did see some other things where like apparently they put like every Metal Gear in it now, and you could play as them.
Yeah, that was more like later on with the events. Like there was like just weekly things where they would switch it out. Like you could control Metal Gear Rex and call him in. Like did you do like the salvage missions where it was just like kind of the multiplayer defend the thing?
Yeah.
The little wormhole digger. You could basically call in different Metal Gears. You could call in Shagohod and it would like
the
come in.
Shagohod is the best part of that game.
It would come in like, just all of a sudden that music would start playing. And it'd be like the MGS3 music, and it would come in drifting and just like take out hordes of those walkers.
It's
and like,
hilarious.
I mean, it was just so funny to see that. You're just like, that's hilarious. And you've got Gecko running around, and Metal Gear Rex is just mowing them down with the the railgun or whatever.
Do you fight the Gecko?
They're an enemy. Yeah, like that's eventually like if you get into like the extreme and the hard difficulty stuff, it's like that's where the game really is. It sucks that it's like oh, just play it for 40 hours and then it gets good. Like I hate that argument, but it's
for
like
sure, yeah.
The co-op's great. Yeah,
that's where the really cool shit is. Like it gets really hectic. Yeah, with co-op.
I'm willing to accept that type of like slow burn with a genre like Survives, where it slowly snowballs into more and more functionality and things you can do. But I'm still of the opinion, you get that game for $10 on the Steam sale, fuck around with your friends over the weekend, you got your money's worth.
It really is that type of game where it's like you're just gonna hop in and have fun.
It did surprise me because I remember when I played it the first time, I was really baffled because I was like, this is a very like classic Kojima length first cutscene. Like we did not, I feel like I didn't really get that in Phantom Pain, like it was really weird to me. And And I wasn't like gripped by the story, but I was interested in it. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I want to see where this goes, like, because it's just batshit crazy.
I mean, spoiler alert here, you can't really complain about what impact it has on the story because the game literally retcons itself out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Retcons in the Metal Gear series?
No
I know, right?
Oh my
It's one
god.
of those, like, it's a feature, not a bug.
Well, it's just, and you said like with survival horror games, it's like one of the cool things about that is like you start out really weak and eventually you can just beat the shit out of these things and take on just hordes of them and just like with one spinning, spear move that you only unlock later, later. It's like, okay, now I can like kick these things ass.
Yeah, the spear was very cool.
Yeah, I love the spear.
I did like it was very cool, like going from like just regular like foot soldier fatigues to like with like a broken machete to like the end where like my character like I basically made Olga, and like with the
Nice.
scar on her face and everything, and she's just like explosive like bow and arrow, just everything, and like the enemies get close, like sledgehammer them to death. Like it was fucking insane. I was like, why I feel like this is like it's like a Metal Gear fever dream.
Yeah, it is.
Like this is what Olga's doing right now because she's fucking dead. Spoilers.
Valhalla.
Metal Gear Hell Purgatory.
Yeah, exactly.
If Survive had been DLC for MGS5 and had Kojima still been around, this would have been the most popular thing ever.
Everyone would have loved it.
It's like Undead Nightmare situation. It's just like, hey, here's a fun little silly little thing where you can wear a horse mask and like run around and with a drill. That's just, it's like, yeah, you've got this power drill as a spear. I don't know. And you've got an oil trap, so all these zombies are just slipping and sliding everywhere and they're falling into a spot. I don't know. It's just a silly fucking fun time. How can you hate shit like that?
It was fun, yeah.
You feel better, Fingers?
Yeah, no, totally vindicated. All right, as we were. No, they gave me so much shit for liking that game, and I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really don't care about anybody if they don't like it, if they hate it. It's fine. I get it. It's got its issues. It's kind of a slog, but I had such a blast with it. I wish people would remember to enjoy games.
For sure. No, definitely. That's definitely like a component on my channel. Is like, can we just be happy? Like, you know what I mean? But like, it is. I will say this: Metal Gear Survive. I finished it. I will never play it again. Like it was so much of a.
I'll send you a clip of the Shagahad shit. That's like at least that's worth checking out.
Yes, definitely send me that. It was a big time investment. But yeah, I don't know what my excuse for replaying Phantom Pain every couple of years is, but like because that's
fun.
also like a huge. It is very fun, and you know what? Like you guys were saying, like Survive has like a really good sense of progression in the sense that like you kind of like start really weak and then you get stronger, whereas like I feel like I have the most fun, like raw fun with Phantom Pain when I just play it like at level 1, where I'm just like Venom Snake, no upgrades.
Right, you have to improvise everything. Yeah.
Subsistence mode, like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I wish that I could, I don't know why this isn't an option, and this is like so nerdy and technical of me to say, but like, I don't know why I can't go into battle without an assault rifle. Like, it's really annoying to me. Like, I just want to go in with
somebody
nothing.
made a mod just for that.
Yeah.
I think they have that. They have like an OSP mod, like where you can just, because I think Adam Online was doing that for a bit. Where he's like, all right, I'm going to do ultra realistic where the guards can see you like 300 meters away and you're just starting OSP.
And it's a blast.
Yeah, no, that's no reflex. And it's just like, well, shit got real.
Yeah. Time to hide. Yeah. I just, it's what those, Phantom Pain is so interesting because I don't know if you guys saw my tweet where I made like a video where I was like recording my TV screen, my PlayStation, and I was like, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain is not a very good game. And then I like pan over to the hours that I've played.
Oh yeah.
And it is literally like 900 hours. And I like scream. Like
I don't know if I can mention this, but like your funniest tweet was the one you deleted recently. Like I was sending that to everyone. I was like, this is the funniest fucking tweet I have ever seen. Like,
do you want to know something?
Yeah,
it was all part of my plan. I tweeted it to delete it. Like
Nice.
I tweeted it out because I needed to get it out of my system, and then I deleted it on purpose.
literally linked it in our notes for the episode, and I put Ella hyperlinked it as one of us.
I mean, yeah, you guys could say it if you want. I don't want to.
Because it's deleted, I don't have the fucking exact wording of it because like all my like hyperlinks for it are dead now. But
oh my god!
But I was like, I like to annoy people on Twitter occasionally. I like to wind people up, and I was sending it to everyone. I was like, I wish I was this good at it. I wish I could write something like this. Absolutely fucking genius.
Oh god, yeah.
Should have left it up, pinned it.
just so we're on the same page. This is the one about the voice. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say it in audio. I don't care. How funny would it be? The biggest power move that Konami could give us right now is if they re-released. They re-released Phantom Pain with Venom Snake and Big Boss, voiced by David Hayter. That'd probably be the greatest power move that they could do. You know, it'd be really funny. It's not like they have a lot to re-record. You know, just kind of a fucking.
He said when he was on the shit when David Hayter came on, he was like, "Oh, it's only like 20 lines." You thought he'd put more effort into it.
Yeah. Like what's going on? It's really interesting, right? Because I fully believe in that, and like in some like wacky, wild, alternate reality where that does happen, like I would be extremely happy about it, and I feel doubly invested in that. That concept, that tweet that I deleted, because I do voice acting now, and I know a lot of voice actors like in this industry, and David Hayter is a very successful writer, but like it's so like it's just like devil's advocate, like he could fall back on that technically, but there are so many voice actors that get replaced by other people that that's their job, as being a voice actor. And it's so lame when, you voice a character for so long and it's iconic, right? And like that, your performance is iconic, and then it's just like, whatever, fuck it, fuck you, I guess, and I'm still salty about this, and it's 9 years.
How many times has this happened in Resident Evil?
I mean, it's like almost every, every game, something gets recast. And honestly, that's a very big can of worms that has some justifiable kind of reasoning on the like business side, but specifically for David Hayter, it's like, I don't know, it's like same voice director, same other characters, like Kaz and Huey and Paz, like they're still the same. And yeah,
it's so surreal, right?
It's strange.
It almost feels like you're being gaslit.
Yeah, kinda.
I remember when RE2R Ada was replaced, and I was upset that she was replaced because I thought she was so good, and everyone was like, "What's wrong with the new person?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just really liked this person.
Exactly.
It's not about the new person, right?"
I had the opposite problem. What happened was they extrapolated Carlos's voice and gave it to Chris Redfield, and it ruined my brain since I have the biggest crush on Carlos.
Oh my god. You're like, wait a minute, but now I have a crush on Chris? Like what's going on?
And it's so weird with the David Hayter swap too, with what MGSV is about. Like you keep expecting him to show up at the end. Like, were a lot of theories that he would, right?
I remember I was part of those theories where you get a one-on-one between like Big Boss and Snake, and David Hayter voices Snake and Kiefer is Venom, or I guess Big Boss.
And it would have been great. But Ground Zeroes kind of messes with, like, there was an opportunity there.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I feel like everyone, like, even back then, over 10 years ago or whatever at this point, like, I remember coming to that conclusion well before I had ever played Phantom Pain. Like, I was like, oh, we're going to get to the end of Phantom Pain and it's going to be David Hayter as Solid Snake and we fight him and then get blasted with a flamethrower or whatever. And I remember
everybody wanted that.
But that's the thing. I remember like talking to other Metal Gear fans, and they were just like, I had this crazy idea last night, and I was like, "What's that?" And then they're like, "What if you like get to the end and it's you fight Solid?" And like, you know, like everybody just came to the same conclusion. And I feel like the reason why everybody came to that conclusion was because in MGS4, Big Boss is voiced by a different guy, you know? And I feel like Kojima kind of like planted that seed, that possibility in all of our heads well before this game ever came out. So we were all like, obviously like, oh, that's because that's Big Boss, you know? And Big Boss, like in the last game, like the last mainline game had a different voice and blah, blah, blah. Like there's some plausible deniability, you know? But then like you play it and it's just like a conversation between two Kiefer Sutherlands. And you're like, what?
It's so weird too. There's added weight to that recasting in the Japanese version because when you get to Big Boss, it's played by Chikao Otsuka, who is Akio Otsuka's father.
Oh my god.
So it's actually father and son.
Oh my god. I didn't know that.
Conversing back and forth in that.
It makes me saltier. It just makes me saltier.
Yeah.
That's you said in MGS4?
Yeah.
See, that's like Japanese MGS4 is probably just like that's the version we were supposed to see. You know, it's like we all just got like the theatrical cut of Blade Runner with the narration on it, and it's just like, fuck.
Oh my god.
They do similar stuff within MGS2, like Meryl and Olga having the same voice actor and tricking you into thinking it's Meryl on the tanker. Like Japanese voice acting, like the casting just seems a lot more tired. Not that I don't love the English voice acting, but
Akio plays Solidus in MGS2. So it's more confusing when they're like, is that Solid Snake? Is it not?
No, that is not Solid Snake.
But when you hear a different voice in English, you're like, oh, no, it's not.
See what you did there.
Sorry about it.
What was the situation with Ground Zeroes, like with the Japanese? Was that... That was Akio Otsuka for...
Yeah, they never recast
throughout,
him in
right?
Japanese. It was Akio on both Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain.
Yeah, and that just puts a hole in the theory of like, oh, well, Ground Zeroes is the VR that Venom was going through. Like that's what you're experiencing, so that's why it sounds like him. It's like you could have that argument, but that just goes completely out the window but in the Japanese it was Akio, so it's like, well, fuck.
Yep, never recast.
Really.
Yeah, Kojima just likes fucking Kiefer.
Hey, phrasing!
He was watching too much 24.
He saw Drive and got obsessed.
I'm so conflicted on Phantom Pain because I do like playing it a lot. Like I've sunk a lot of hours into it, but you know, in all fairness, a lot of that was also like FOB missions and MGO 3. You know, I love MGO, like all of them. You know, like I played them all back in the day, like especially MGO 2. Like I was addicted to that when it actually like ran well, because you know it was pretty back in the day. I remember it being it was very finicky, the connectivity. Like I was like, God, I hope I could get some games today, you know, like
all I've been doing is just telling people that I was the best MGO player in the world, and no one can prove that I'm wrong. So
true. What, the original one, the first one? You could just say that.
All of them.
Yeah, no, I do. I tell people all the time, and no one can prove it.
Do you tell them that you played as a Rowdy Reiko from Rumble Roses? Do you remember that? You could unlock the Rumble Roses characters.
No, I never played it.
Oh, you never played it? Oh, okay.
No,
so there you go.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I definitely remember Rumble Roses. That unlocked some shit in me, but we won't talk about it.
Let's be honest, Apache, if you had played it, you would just use the shotgun glitch constantly.
I would, yeah.
Oh my god. The shotgun glitch.
The most gratifying thing I ever got was I went into the MGO server and someone was like, I watched your videos to learn how to box headshot. And I'm like, that'll do for me. I'm the greatest MGO player of all time. See you later, guys.
Yeah, you've earned that.
But you know, how do we all feel about a new MGO? Because I'm definitely like, if they put an MGO in Delta, that I'm like so ready to play it.
Yeah. Can I just start off by telling you guys how I feel about Delta, just overall?
Go for it.
Before you go I just want to preface this conversation with, I did recently watch your Resi 2 remake revisit, which was very good. And and Apache swore that video was already out, but it turned out to be a fever dream, and then you actually released it, so that was great. But I do distinctly recall one part where you're just like, I love this game, and all the flaws that you break down are, you know, totally agree with all of it. But one thing you definitely pointed out that I hadn't really considered, but now can't stop thinking about it, was like, it really did start that trend of just remake
Yeah.
and remake and remake. And then as soon as I started that part of the video, I'm like, man, our Delta conversation is going to be really fucking interesting. I can't wait for this.
Yeah. Yeah, just to touch on that a little bit, it's very unfortunate, I feel, because the idea of Resident Evil 2 getting remade in any capacity, RE1 Remake is my absolute all-time favorite game ever. I think it's a masterwork. I think it's like a classy, beautifully made, beautifully constructed survival horror game.
It's impossibly good.
It's impossibly good. It's fantastic. Living up to that is also impossible. Following that up with anything. That being said, I think that I firmly believe that RE2 Remake is like a 9 out of 10 for me personally. I love that fucking game. I've sunk God knows how many hours into it on like across different platforms.
Party still wants that RE1 remake style version of RE2 though, I bet.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you know what? Like you can actually kind of get that now with that fixed camera angle mod.
I streamed that. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh my god, that mod it's so good. It's like glimpsing into a timeline that we don't live in, where it's like, oh, Capcom released this, and got like all the accolades and 10 out of 10s and blah, 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 whatever.
Is that the same timeline where they remade Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 for the PS2? Because I'm still mad about that.
Oh my god, I don't listen. If I start talking about FF7 Remake and Rebirth, I will get in trouble. I will get canceled, so I'm not going to touch that right now. When part 3 comes out, I'll make a 10-hour long 3-part whatever the fuck video on all that and say things. But just to go back to RE2 Remake, it's really unfortunate because it's fantastic and I love it, and I still feel like that game looks amazing. Like obviously, if you pause it and you like scrutinize all the details, like you'll see some weird shit, like character faces being weird and Claire's eyes and all that. And it might be my nostalgia talking, for the game. Like a lot was happening in 2019 for me. Like my channel was taking off in 2019, so and like RE2R was definitely a part of that. But it's such a special game for me personally, and that's why it pains me like so greatly to say that like it really did start the trend of like endless remakes and remasters and whatever, like deluxe remasters, whatever the fuck people want to call them nowadays. And I think that really sucks because at the end of that video, I kind of like I talked about it where I was like, how cool would it be if like we just had all of these like brand new, modernized, like perfect, in my opinion, perfect survival horror mechanics in just a brand new Resident Evil game with like all new characters, all new, scenario and setting. Maybe you could have like a legacy character show up. It just really like it made me feel kind of like upset, at the end of it, where I was just like, God, that would have been great. But instead, like
It feels like they're circling that in a weird way,
Yeah.
Like every new RE is sort of like you've checked some boxes, but not others that would get you there. And then the next one checks other boxes, but not the other ones. Like it's just, if you would just check the right boxes.
Yeah. And I will say, I think the closest they've come to like a 10 out of 10 for me recently was RE4 Remake. Like I think that game is like it's like a 9.9 out of 10 for me. Like there's like very tiny things that that don't push it over the edge for me, but like that game, like it really does feel like it got like the RE2 remake treatment, but also the RE1 remake treatment, because it does follow the original RE4 so like to a T, but it fleshes out that like completely bullshit RE4 original story like so much and like so well.
Yeah.
That it kind of like has the remake 1 treatment where like, remake 1, like you replay that and you're getting like files like referencing like games that come after it in the timeline, like Code Veronica and like RE2 and 3 even.
Yeah.
To me, like I don't know how you guys feel about RE4 the original. Like I love it. it changed the entire industry for better or for worse. And I again, a lot of nostalgia. Played it day one, got the chainsaw controller and all that. Whatever.
I've got it as well. I've got the chainsaw
I
controller.
have some thoughts about 4, but it might take a while.
Yeah,
It's best on the Wii. That's
Agreed.
that's just a fact.
it's a game that I love a lot, but I do genuinely feel like I have finally played RE4, like with the remake. Like it feels so intimately tied to the games that came before it in like the weirdest possible way to me. Like there is so much lore and story in RE4 remake that ties back to the original RE1, 2, and 3. Not even like the remake 1, 2, and 3. Like it's so bizarre to me. Like it feels like for like out of all the games that Capcom has ever made, like that's the one that they fleshed out the most.
Yeah, it's more like cohesive just with the universe as a whole. Yeah. Like the original 4 did kind of, it stood out in that way, almost like how Code Veronica did. It's like, this is kind of weird and silly. But yeah.
And it's, like 4 is the way it is because it went through development hell and like it birthed like 3 other games that actually came out.
Yeah, I just watched that video of yours too, and it astounds me, and it always makes you wonder, like, I love RE4, the original, both RE4s, but I love RE4 as its iteration, but in some universe I would love to see if they were able to dedicate that. Granted, you can't get to that point without these first iterations, and those iterations became like Devil May Cry, Hunting Ground, etc. But I would love to see a universe where those dev resources and that bandwidth was allocated to that finished vision, and putting all those resources in that finished vision. And the closest thing we'll get to that is the Resi 4 remake.
Yeah.
And to your point, I'm glad you brought up Resi 4 as well, because I do see some interesting parallels between, that game and RE2 remake, and that they were masterpieces. They absolutely hit the nail on the craft. A few blemishes, but absolutely great. But at the same time, we do have to remember them for the impact they had on the industry, both good and bad.
For sure. Yeah. And it's looking like, because 2 remake is the highest selling singular Resident Evil title, and it's looking like 4 remake is going to be like the second, and maybe even the first best selling Resident Evil like singular title like soon. And that's how we get like a Silent Hill 2 remake and an MGS Delta, and I don't know if I want to. It's so like, I don't want to sound defeatist and I don't want to sound like doom and gloom, but it's really interesting the types of games that I have been playing for the first time in some cases and replaying recently, and they're all classic games. Like they're all like PS2 games. Like I literally just made a video on Lifeline for the PS2 because I'm like, oh, what do we have coming down the pipeline? It's like, oh, nothing I want to play right now, so I guess I'll play Lifeline,
I keep meaning to play that.
Thank you so much for debunking like the racist language memes for that game.
Ugh. It's so cringeworthy. I know. Like it's just like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Like you realize that this game was tested in America too. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway, that's Lifeline is a story for another time, I think. Anyway, long-winded ramble aside, getting to Delta, I with that thought in mind, when it first got revealed, and like I think when the first trailer, like the first real trailer was shown, I wasn't really looking forward to playing it. But it was only after I replayed the original MGS3 on a PS2 was when I was like, okay, I think I actually need to play Delta because I need to see how they remake some of this wild shit. You know what I mean? Like you defeat the Fury and there's just a flaming giant face flying around. Like I want to see what that looks like. in like photorealistic graphics. You know what I mean? Like I want to see.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to mention when you were talking about how like all the games were horror games. Like MGS3 has such crazy horror elements in it, and that's one of them. Like it comes out of fucking nowhere. That huge flaming skull chasing you through the corridor.
Yeah, it's like it's honestly like really cool. Like and the idea of like how they can like just purely from like a selfish I'm a selfish viewer and I want all the spectacle, like show me all the shiniest graphics, like your take on these bizarre events, like I want to see that. But of course, like, you know, the thought is always going to be in the back of my mind where it's like, no matter what this game delivers in terms of innovation, whether it be graphics, gameplay, sound design, even storytelling, like maybe they change some things with the story. Like I would like to see that applied to maybe a new MGS game, you know, like just something completely new, or if you can continue what we have, like, you know what I mean? Like that. So that's kind of how I feel about it right now. Like I definitely want to play it, but I'm still like, I'm shaky on it. I'm shaky.
Rykov is going to look wild.
Oh my god.
I think we brought it up on the last episode on how it's like this is going to be like a good training for the new team. Like this is like, you know, learning by like doing a cover song. It's just like, okay, this is kind of how you do a game like this. And they're like, okay, this is how one of the best was made ever. Now we can go on to do this new story and apply what we learned here with these good, you know, gameplay physics and stuff. So.
I really hope they do that because it's kind of ironic, you know. Silent Hill originally was sort of Konami's response to the success of Resident Evil, right? So it's funny now that they're still sort of chasing Resident Evil's success.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, cuz like, and especially when you think about just the legacy of both of those franchises, like where, you know, Silent Hill, like Resident Evil was a little scary for a while, like, you know, not in the way it wanted to be. Like it was just like this weird like geopolitical global terror action game franchise, you know, and it didn't really like gel with anybody. I feel like you know, 5 and 6 have their fans. I like things about those games. You know, I like things about those games, but like it was very clear that the franchise was kind of like it at a weird in a weird place, you know.
Not to go down a rabbit hole.
I need to get this off my chest. I'm so
I need to get something off my chest too.
Go right ahead.
No, it's probably the same thing, Apache.
Yeah, Apache, go ahead first. We'll get in line.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
My favorite after playing them and playing a lot of them recently, my Resident Evil tier list is as follows: Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 5. That's my top 2 favorite games.
What the hell, man?
He bought the Humble Bundle, and I was like, yo, we got to get on this co-op. I got to just show you this experience. I have a huge crush on Sheva, full disclosure.
Oh my god.
If there was, y'all were talking about Resi checking boxes on Resi games. This is the 2 boxes that they need to check for me. Carlos Rivera and Sheva, and I'm good. But no, for real though, like I am totally in this, like, Resident Evil was absolutely in a weird place, but
yeah,
it's interesting that you mentioned that sort of parallel between the 2 series, because I was just thinking about, and I don't know the full details of this, so I could be wrong, but in some ways, like soon after that sort of weird phase, Capcom sort of took the reins of Silent Hill's success and was able to reinvigorate their own series, which I always think is kind of an interesting, and again, I don't know the details. For all I know, I think Resi 7 was already being developed before Silent Hills or something like that.
Yeah,
but they, you know, I would still argue that, you know, like they were able to capture a moment that PT kind of paved the way for.
7 is so damn good.
All that to say, we got so heavy into RE5. We just beat it on Professional, and now he's so excited for 6, and I'm like,
you really shouldn't be.
I spend all my time like playing games to practice to do them at events, right? So I spend all my time like focused on like learning a game and making something worthwhile to watch in order to like raise money for charity. And when me and Days played RE5 together, I was like, I forgot what it was like to just chill and just love a game and enjoy it. And the gameplay, it holds up so fucking well.
It is fun.
Apart outside of a few, like the bit in the car with the minigun, that's kind of shit. It only gets interesting on like when you play it on the hardest difficulty, there's actually some risk of dying until you learn the pattern, but like at least it was presenting some form of challenge. And then the end of the game, it's a bit fucking long. It goes on a bit long, but apart from that, the game just felt phenomenal to play.
For sure, yeah. No, it's a very beautifully optimized gameplay experience. I think when
that was very kind.
Yeah. Well, I have to listen. I have to save the meat and potatoes for videos later. Which, by the way, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but there just isn't an RE5 or 6 video on my channel, and it's because I'm avoiding them like the plague. But anyway,
understandable.
It's a lot to unpack, but RE5 definitely is at its worst when you're just fighting guys that shoot you with guns, and I think you guys are very correct in it's a fantastic co-op experience. I did my very first playthrough in co-op with half with one of my best friends from back home and the other half with my older brother. So it was a lot of them being like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this game, but I'm having a great time. And then me being like, oh my god, that's what they did with Jill? Fuck this game. Oh my god, fuck this. I hate this game. Oh my god. Just going insane.
Now that I think about like how you feel about Jill and what they did to her, God, I could definitely, you should, I totally understand how you felt some sort of way.
Yeah, Jill has had a rough go of it, honestly. I'm rubbing my temples right now. I'm just like thinking about it, and I'm mixed on those games. Even 6, like 6 has some things that I like about it. Again, fun co-op experience, but everything else I'm kind of like, oh my god, what's going on? What's happening? Anyway,
I think that's a big point. It's like it doesn't really matter what you're playing. It could kind of suck and just be really just a bad game. But if you're playing with a good friend, it's just like, I don't know, you're just sitting there making fun of it and roasting it, and it's like that's just a fun experience on its own. So
it gets to a point 6 where you're like, all right, we're just doing Modern Warfare 2 right now. We're on the jet skis.
It's so ridiculous.
We're flying down the snowy mountain and everything. Okay, whatever. I don't want to spoil too much for people in this call, but
I have to get it off my chest. Like I don't hate the zombies with guns. I think the cover mechanics work fine. They're a little bit staticky, but it's kind of an old game, so I can forgive it.
Hey, wait till you get to 6. I would love to hear your opinion on the cover system in that game. Oh my god.
All right, I gotta air something. Like my frustration with 5 is a fun time. I've been playing it with a friend as well, and most of the fun is just us cracking jokes. Like I'd say like, a quarter of the fun is the game itself, but it's a good like buddy experience. But like 4, 5, and 6 are sort of, to me, the downfall of what I liked about Resident Evil. Because I know I've said this before, but like I like Resident Evil when it's a puzzle game with some shooting, and not so much when it's a shooting game with some puzzles.
There's one fucking puzzle in RE5, and you can kill your partner with it and yourself.
Oh my god, yeah.
The only puzzle in RE5 is who's gonna go get me another drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good puzzle, by the way.
One of us does the puzzle, and the other person gets a drink. That's our agreement. Me and Apache.
And
for sure.
And so like I have a weird relationship with 4 because it was sort of like the start of that descent for me. Even though it's a fantastic game, and I by the way, I kind of weird. Like I'm with you. I like sort of like the remake more, because it leans more into horror than the original did, and so I had a really good time with it.
For sure, yeah.
5 is like especially frustrating for me because it had such an interesting concept behind it.
Yeah.
With the story, I don't know. Like Resident Evil's story is really, it can be very engaging. But I don't know. I don't see the same fervor for it online. Like it's almost, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
if we're gonna talk about horror, like if we're gonna talk about like story and us getting unironic meaning from it, I get a lot of feelings about Chris punching that boulder. Like I know people make memes about it and joke about it, but my God, that I'm so glad I get to admit this alive in front of Suzi.
Yeah,
he was fucking frustrated. That man has gone through so much.
I love that scene.
His sister got fucked up. His best friend got fucked up, and now he's gonna watch another partner get fucked up. It's like when a child gets stuck. I'm sorry, Suzi. I'm sorry. I just need to finish. When a child gets stuck under a car, and you hear those stories about the moms just like miraculously fucking lifting the car to get the child. That's what Chris was doing, and fuck Heisenberg for making fun of him for it.
Just imagining that scene from Rocket Man now.
Okay, I'm done.
That was amazing.
Can I be honest with you? This is like music to my ears because I have never once in my life, my entire life, ever made fun of the boulder punching scene. Everything you just said is completely true and correct.
Oh my God.
And I agree with you.
You should say
Thank you.
And exactly what you said. Like, there's not much that I can add to it. It's literally a moment where this man is willing to do anything literally
to get this guy,
he's moving Earth itself to fucking save his partner.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And kill this motherfucker who's been torturing him and his family
He's
for his
reached
whole
that
life.
Fucking point. It's so good.
That's pretty much how I feel about Raiden in MGS4.
Throwing a Metal Gear. Yeah.
Well, no, just when he's stopping,
stabbing his foot like it's gonna do anything.
When he's protecting Snake with the big ass the ship coming towards him, and he's
that's when he stabs his foot. Like that's like that physics. I understand how physics work, but that's not gonna help.
Yeah,
but I know. No, it's symbolic. I get
when he tosses a ray, though, you're just like, oh, okay, he's leveled up now, and the suit's working a little better. Okay, this is great.
Just to finish the thought, though, on RE5, what's frustrating about it is, like, it tries to go to the origin of the T virus, the progenitor virus, the flowers, everything, and it's like it seemed like they wanted to tie it sort of peripherally to Haitian voodoo. The origin of the zombie legends. And I'm like, and I remember thinking, like, that is the coolest idea ever for them to, you have this idea of like.
I have a good point for you after this, by the way, that I will add to this, by the way, but keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. It's, you have this idea of like Spencer going to this area in Africa where he's heard about these legends and is like, maybe there's some truth to it. Right. Like this is this is sort of like slightly headcanon-y stuff here, but that idea of him going and sort of investigating and going, maybe there's some truth to this that I can exploit, right? And finding those flowers is such a cool idea. And it's touched on for about 5 seconds.
Yep.
And that is so frustrating to me because it's a great origin story for this whole mess.
And it's the perfect setting. Origin of life, origin of virus.
Exactly.
Yes, and they do nothing with it, and it drives me crazy.
Hey, the only thing they do with it is they fight in a volcano, which
that is cool.
That breeds life into existence. No, I think you're right about that, and that's such an interesting theme that they don't capitalize on. And I have the same exact feeling about RE4 because RE4, it's a very like religiously driven story.
Yeah.
And as we all know, like Spain as a country, I say as we all know, like as if we all know. I don't know if anyone knows this.
No, we're all historians here. Go on.
Spain as a country, like, has had a very complex religious history, with
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and fear. Fear and surprise. Our two weapons are fear and surprise.
With like Catholicism and all this, these other things. And I feel like there could have been a really cool intersection that they could have crossed with like a real life example from history and
and instead they play it for laughs.
They play it for laughs, and that's another reason why I'm a little more appreciative of the remake, because they try to take it a little bit more seriously and they flesh out the cult and everything, like the Los Illuminados and all that. And you actually get to like read about where they come from and all that. So it's not tied Like the
the
imagery isn't tied to something that exists in our world, and I don't get disappointed by it, like, so no, I think Capcom has like a really hard time with that kind of stuff because they really like to kind of toe the line.
They don't want to go too deep.
Yeah. They don't want to go too deep because they do want everyone to be able to play these games and not get super offended. Like, I get
Which,
it. Like,
on that note, like, RE7 is a freaking miracle of a game.
Yeah.
And the fact that they went, well, some people found it too scary, so let's lighten up 8, infuriates me to no end.
Yeah. It's really annoying,
Like,
right? Because
you made your horror game too scary? What?
yeah, like, because 8 is like a pure, like, 8 is another game that I also like love, but have
It's
some
fun. It's a
mixed feelings
blast.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so like counterintuitive to like do that, like to be like, oh, we're gonna like lighten the horror, but we're also gonna throw in one of the scariest things in the
The
entire
baby.
franchise, which is
Oh, God.
the Beneviento house, and it's like,
I found that on Mother's Day. It was fucked up, man.
oh my god,
Oh,
that's hilarious.
jeez.
That section is like one of the most like contemplative and dark like moments in the entire franchise, like for a character that like I barely care about, Ethan, like that there's so much meaning to every single one of those rooms, and like every little thing you do, like every little tiny puzzle that you solve, like has some meaning behind it that I'm gonna go into in a future video. We'll see about that. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, like it's bizarre.
8 is such a hodgepodge,
Yeah, it's super bizarre.
Yeah, it's like, but earlier you were fighting fucking werewolves jumping around with a shotgun. It's just like, okay, this is.
I've literally killed 1,000 werewolves up until this point.
It was a mixed bag game. Like it was just like, man, they're trying to
Yeah.
just do a little bit of horror in every little way. It just didn't really like pick a direction and go with it. It was
Yeah.
it was like a fun house. Like you were going into different rooms each time. Like, oh, what's this room?
I felt like I was watching one of those movies my parents would bring home from the rental store.
It
that I
does, yeah,
definitely wasn't
Village.
supposed to see. Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so endearing to me.
Yeah, Village has powerful video rental store energy. Like
my
powerful.
God.
Like I can clearly see like one of those lichens like on the cover of a VHS box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's basically just like a Tales of the Crypt. It's just like
Yeah.
different episodes. Just
Powerful. Oh my god.
I'm far from the first person to make this comparison, but like I've seen people say that like this is the Resident Evil equivalent of like going to a soda machine and like hitting every button to fill your cup.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I'll never forget like the fever everyone had for a certain lady in that game as well.
Yeah.
That was like a fucking actual moment in Resident Evil. I wonder if there was any executives who were walking up to like the poor animators and shit, and they were like, "Hey, can you do more of this in the game?" Or I wonder how much of that had effect, because it was like before it came out, right? And they must have known that she was only in a small section of the game, right?
Oh, dude, I called that shit as soon as I saw it. I was like, that's an Act 1 boss right there.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Right. It's like, yep. Put her right at the start, guys. So, because there's like a really famous statistic in all of video games where it's like most people that buy games don't finish them. So I wouldn't be surprised if like, because especially when you read all the files and you like learn the lore of the characters and the village, like Lady D is supposed to be the closest match and like bond for something like very important. I'm saying things and I'm like, these are spoilers and I probably shouldn't explain everything. So like you'd think like, oh, she would be like an end game kind of thing, right? But you play the game and it's like, there she is right away. We got to make sure everybody sees her.
yeah.
We want this statistic to not align with this character who's selling copies of the game.
Well, Capcom kind of takes the wrong lesson from everything they do pretty consistently. So there's gonna be a response to the popularity of this character in the next one. Mark my words.
You think they're gonna make another giant lady?
Yeah.
That is
Something.
in the whole game.
something. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
God.
they just don't take the right lessons. I don't know.
That would be very funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just got a hunch.
I've always thought that Kojima like really well understood that not everyone would finish the game, and why he put like such memorable things in at the start, like the guard seeing your footsteps in 1, like the tech demo that is the tanker in 2, and then in MGS3, just like stuff like the bridge shaking, stuff that just doesn't appear anywhere else in the game, but it's like he puts it in there at the start, and then people talk about it forever.
Yeah, super memorable. Yeah,
vertical slice stuff. Yeah,
the guards noticing your footsteps in MGS1, like everyone brings that up. Everyone's talked about that for years. Like, it doesn't really have an effect on the game though at all.
Yeah, it happens right away. Like there are puddles in the opening first room. You know.
Oh yeah,
of
of
the
course,
entire. You start the game and that tech is on display immediately, and you're like, wait, what? I'm caught. What's going on? You know,
it seems like something like you did, but the game walks you into it, like literally pushes you into it, Omar, pushes you into the puddle, it pushes you into the snow.
It's great design. Like, it's fantastic design.
That's almost like the first just hurdle in Mario, just being there. It's like, no, you gotta learn how to jump first before you get past this part. It's like, here you go. Also, this mushroom will kill you if you don't move. Like,
oh my, yeah, exactly. I think, to your point, I think to all of our points, I think that MGS3, and this is probably a great reason why you would want to remake it. MGS3 is a game that starts so incredibly strong that it's like hard to put it down. Like that game fucking, like, I forgot how insane the opening of that game is. They introduce like every character, like every single character that is incredibly important is like introduced right away, and you're like, oh god, like it just feels like the pacing of, like, you rescue Sokolov, you meet Ocelot, you meet the boss, you meet Volgan, you meet the Cobras, she breaks your arm, like all of that, like it's like breakneck speed of like all high quality stuff, so it's like really difficult to be like, oh, I've got my fill, whatever. It's like, I know, I want to see what happens.
And then the title screen shows, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, the title screen shows up, and it's like,
you get that song, and
it's a Bond song. You're like, oh my god. This is fantastic.
I've actually had the opposite of opinion of that. Like, recently I've been saying, it's going to be really tough for Zoomers to get into Delta, because the game opens up with like so much exposition. It keeps going like, 1960, and here's a quick call between 2 presidents, and there's like, I felt it was weird that they, on the recent first look, that they let people play the Virtuous mission, because it's got about 7 minutes of gameplay compared to like an hour and a half of like cutscenes, and they're great, but like if you're getting a hands-on the game, it's a weird place to give people a hands-on.
Sure.
It's because that was the demo originally, so they're trying to mirror that.
But other people just want to see and hear some guy go, hey, does this Pennywise know what he's doing in 4K? Just like, they want to see that, and they're there for that.
His name is Duke, thank you very much.
Yeah. Is that guy's name Duke?
His name is Duke.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
That's like knowing who the Zanakin Duggles are. That's such a weird fucking.
Oh my god, the Duggles.
the Zanakin Duggles.
The 2 teams that have won through to the finals are, of course, the Abes from A East and the Duggles from C South.
The Luca Goers.
All these like gaming apparel things. If one gaming apparel company can make a Zanarkand Douglas jersey, I'd buy like 6 of them.
Yeah, no, I'd
for Christmas.
They have a logo. They have a logo. You could
throw it on Redbubble.
Okay.
I'm sorry for bringing up the Zanakin Douglas. My bad.
It's fine. It's fine. Can you guys believe that I am the current voice of Trish?
That's so sick. Congratulations on that.
That's got to be surreal.
It's very weird. It's very bizarre. I was just doing some auditions, and that opportunity fell into my lap, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. Fuck it, And I was like, I know this character very well. I know that she has been voiced by a different person every single time that she has appeared in anything, except for Marvel 3. Funnily enough, that was Wendy Lee, or no, Daniela Bergurio in MVC 3 and DMC 4. That's how much I know about Trish, by the way. So I was like, fuck it. Like, whatever happens, happens. I'm probably not going to come back anyway for DMC 6 or whatever comes next. So I'm going to gonna do my best with the material they give me, and my thought process was Trish has never had a consistent voice, so it's been very all over the place. So I'm gonna make her sound as cool and as mommy as possible.
Hell yeah.
And I gave them a little voice sample, and Capcom was like, "That's perfect. Just do that. Just do that." And I was like, "Okay, great."
That's awesome.
And I did it, and they loved it. So I was like, "Okay, cool."
The future of Devil May Cry is kind of up in the air now too, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no clue what's happening. Even if I was attached to like a 6 or whatever, like I wouldn't be able to say it. But
I was about to say, Nitroid, stop it.
No. I mean,
no.
I will
I
say
mean because Itsuno left.
Yeah.
Suzi, he's not trying to probe for information. He's just literally like this.
He's just like this.
Swear to God.
In all honesty, I will say it. You could keep it on the record. I have not heard anything.
Yeah.
About anything, and I am in that franchise now, so that should go to show you what's going on. It's just
no, we're definitely not trying to get anybody in trouble.
No, I'm more thinking like who could sort of take the reins, unless Itsuno works on contract, but that doesn't seem like what he wants to do.
It's interesting because there are definitely a lot of people still working at Dev 1 that could do that. But Itsuno's gone now, and so is Ryota Suzuki, who was his kind of like right-hand man with developing the combat system of like basically every DMC that Itsuno worked on. So it's interesting. Like I'm sure somebody at Capcom could take the reins who still works there, but it would be some really big shoes to fill. For sure, for the next title.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Kamiya just suddenly went back to Capcom?
That would be very funny. He's like, you know what? I'm taking my baby back. Fuck it. Who cares? They took my other baby away, Bayonetta. Which, Bayonetta's that's a franchise I don't want to talk about either. By the way.
No problem.
Yeah, case closed. Okay.
I'll bring it back to Metal Gear.
Yeah. Oh wow, really?
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, that game. We always talk about that.
Kojima Frequency.
Well, Kojima made other stuff. Fingers. Come on.
Yeah, he
now.
made Devil May Cry 2.
All right, let's talk about Boktai. Fine.
To be fair, we are also the Mikami Frequency.
Yeah, no, that's totally. Yeah, we totally checked off our bingo square for talking about Resident Evil tonight.
What's your guys' opinion on PN3? I need to know. Okay. Do any of you even know what that is? I bet Nitroid knows.
I know what that is. I do know what that is.
Yeah, of course
you do. I didn't. What does that mean?
It means you're old like me. That's what it means.
At least I didn't say it this time.
Wait, isn't that where the gun came from, and like the unlockable gun came from in RE4 and like the PlayStation 2 version or some shit?
No, but that's really interesting that you say it because it's so close. The names are close. It's PN3 and PRL. Like they're close.
Oh God, this is such a deep cut.
But,
I have not played it. I am aware of it though, and
gotcha.
It's on my very long list of like I don't know what you would call it. What generation was that? 6th generation games that I need to play.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
a
on there.
GameCube game.
Yeah. A lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Mikami Frequency episode when you all play PN3, the greatest game ever made. Anyway, we could go back.
It reminds me of Psy Girls for some reason.
Yeah, similar energy for sure. Like that early 2000s.
Yeah.
Digital apocalypse aesthetic. Oh my god, Psy Girls. Oh my god, I'm looking that up right now.
I'm pretty sure it's when we had Carsey on, or it might have been the episode before. We got a comment like, can y'all shut the fuck up about Resident Evil? And we were just like,
never.
Nope.
Yeah, we leaned in really hard ever since.
I will ramble about boulder punching every 5 minutes from now on if I have to. Shit.
I just want to say I definitely agree with the whole like the scenarios not being in remake 2. You know, it was like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, I definitely would
yeah.
have liked that. You know, for them to do the AB, you know, Leo Claire thing.
Again, it's really weird because you start the second scenario and it feels like they're gonna do something like that, and they just don't.
Yep, that was my like big gripe with it. But otherwise, a 9
Yeah.
out of 10. I was like, man, I wish they would have done the scenario shit because
Yeah.
that's my favorite Resident Evil of all time. Just the original 2 is just like, oh, what a good
Oh, for sure.
what a good game.
It's such a great bang for your buck too. You
That
get like
Zap
4 different
system.
stories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So ahead of its time.
It's really shocking that no one there was no Oscars given out for the voice acting as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and 2? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Resident Evil 2.
I used to play that game with a Game Shark, and like that game was so fun with just like infinite ammo and the revolver
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, just like fucking around. It was just it was fun to like abuse that game and just like go really hard. Just have infinite rockets.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm playing Resident Evil on the GDQ channel for an event, like a special event they're doing soon. It's like it's a Team Hitless cross GDQ event, and I'm running Resident Evil 2 No Damage on the Friday night. So I'm really excited for that. So I've been playing a shitload of Resident Evil 2, and when we were watching your video, something it was something you said about the second scenario. And you're like it's almost like a shorter version.
Yeah, no, it feels like a speedrunner version of
that was
the
it.
first scenario.
But the second scenario is like so much fucking harder for what I do. Like it took like the most I think the most difficult section of the game is like everything in the RPD, because you don't have anything yet. You don't have the better upgraded guns. You don't have
Yeah.
you don't have much, and you run around the RPD and it's stuffed with zombies.
And Mr. X is like,
surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like B scenario. It's like, yeah, we took the start of the game and made it harder, and then we made the rest of the game shorter. And it's like, why have you done this? What a weird way to fucking balance the second
For
scenario.
sure, yeah. For
it's
sure.
like they were like, we need a second scenario, but we also need an arrange mode. How the fuck do we do this? They're like, just smash it together.
Yeah. It's very arrange mode. Yeah, I think the biggest reason why I said that in the video was just because you could get the Star's Office weapon like right away. You know?
Yeah, like you get access to like your higher tier stuff really quickly.
Right away. And you also get the badge, so you could get the second upgrade first.
Exactly. You got
right
like a
before you
deagle
fight
with the
Birkin.
laser sight before
Yeah.
before G1. You just walk up and tap him twice with it.
Yeah, totally.
I also see both sides because I like how you get the modulator immediately at Nest. So I can just knock out that shit.
Yeah. You get the side pack early.
I'm
in the
willing to
Nest.
get my
Oh God.
I'm willing to get my ass beat more to get that stuff early. I'll take that trade off.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god. You guys are Resident Evil nerds. Oh my god. I love it. This is great.
I feel like I've just been knighted by the queen. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm not talking to Days because I'm like so Metal Gear focused with everything, whenever I talk about Resident Evil to anyone else, their eyes just kind of glaze over, and I'm like, I've played this game for 1,000 hours, man. I really like this game.
Yo, I want to give Universal Park in Japan like all the money they need to keep that
Oh my
Resident
God.
Evil, whatever the fuck dinner theater shit up till we get to Tokyo
Dinner
in December. I don't know the full name, so I've just called it the Resident Evil Dinner Theater. I used to go to those a lot in grade school, and I would love to do it. I really wish they would.
Do you guys remember when they did their first? Oh my god, I'm having trouble remembering the name. When they did their very first VR experience in Japan, it was called like Resident Evil Valiant Raid or something. And it was like it, and it's just like the Japanese thing that always happens where they just take two really cool English sounding words and put them together to make VR, like Valiant Raid VR, because it's a VR experience or whatever.
No, I didn't know about
I need to look
this.
that up. It's really interesting because you play as a member of Blue Umbrella and you're like fighting molded creatures. I'm sure it's like long gone at this point, but yeah, that was their first attempt at that kind of thing. And then I think they did another one. They did another VR experience with like RE2 remake assets. So this is kind of like, I feel like the Universal thing is like what they always wanted to do. They're finally doing it. It's like a dinner theater experience.
It'd work well for an escape room.
Yeah, you'd think, right, that there'd be a Resident Evil.
I remember when Maddie sent me the thing from the Resident Evil event in Japan, and they had like all the guns from the games and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, the laws must be like totally different over there. They have like perfect like replicas of all the weapons from the games. You could just go up and mess with them. So jealous. Japan gets all the coolest stuff.
I know. I will say the Universal thing. The only thing that kind of annoys me about it is that I wish it. And this is never gonna happen. It's just my crazy Resident Evil fan brain. But I wish it wasn't like the remake designs of the characters.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Like it kills me.
And even just like Claire and Jill. Like I want to see some like Hollywood versions of like
need the shoulder pads,
pink shorts, Claire, yeah, and the big shoulder pads, of course, like I want to see that, but I'm an old school kind of semi purist in that regard, but no, I think it's still really cool, and I would love to go and see that in person. I would love to have dinner theater. I'm never gonna stop saying dinner theater experience. That's amazing. I love that so much.
You'd be asked to leave for gasping too loudly or something. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't be able to contain yourself. So same with Days. Like you'd be getting kicked out. There'd be no way.
Oh God, I'd be an absolute buffoon. It'd be so sad.
Yeah, I'd just be like, oh my God, am I allowed to stand next to Jill Valentine? Could I talk to Jill Valentine? Does Jill Valentine speak English? Am I allowed to speak English to her? So anyway, yeah, we could talk about Metal Gear if you want.
It's all right.
Oh, I just wanted to know like what you wanted on like Master Collection 2, but that's it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
What's like your dream lineup, or like if you could only pick I don't know, 4?
I think yeah, I think it would be, well, obviously 4 has to be there because I would like a version of 4 that runs at 60 FPS that I can purchase legally.
Yeah.
Konami. Hello. And I think if they did, if they brought Peace Walker back, that would be really cool. Because I did remember, again, it's not a game that like lit my soul on fire or was like a huge meaningful experience to me, but I did really love playing it and like kind of getting those like Phantom Pain mechanics earlier, and
number go up, make you happy type deal. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. It's the ultimate number go up game. Yeah,
that's
sure.
definitely a grind. And that's that's fine, because sometimes you want an engaged story and sometimes you want to listen to a podcast and just grind out some video game stuff and kind of just turn off your brain and just fight the same helicopter 10 times in a row. Or
my God, I fought the same helicopter and tank over and over again in that game. Yeah, it did not stop. But I think I guess my wild card pick would be Portable Ops Plus.
Poops.
Like I want that.
Poops Plus.
Yes.
That game with like running at a stable frame rate, running at 60 FPS would be really fucking good. I feel like it would have a lot more people would engage with it better. A lot more people would have a good time with it. I think it's a really good game.
I want to play as paramedic. Like, come on.
For years, for literally years, I only replaced it recently. I had the paramedic from Portable Ops as the wallpaper on my phone.
Oh my God. She looks very cool in that game. She's got the fatigues. She's awesome. I loved Portable Ops when that came out. I really enjoyed it. It was just really cool kind of playing like this like weird version of like MGS3 with all these new mechanics, and like I could play as like female characters and like just all the iconic characters in like a single player kind of context,
Mm-hmm. It feels like a continuation of MGS3, whereas like 4 went on to something completely different mechanically, like gameplay wise. Portable Ops feels like what they could do if they added more stuff to 3.
Absolutely.
And that's what I really love about it.
Yeah, totally. I adore that game, and I would love it if it got some kind of like remaster treatment, just spruce up the graphics a little bit and make it run good. Like I think that'd be fantastic. So that's like my wild card. Hey, listen, I'm a classic gamer. They don't even have to spruce up the graphics. Just make it run good.
Yeah,
I'm not even asking for a lot.
Stability over like visual fidelity anytime.
Yeah, keep the aspect ratio like. Yeah, it can be 4:3. It's fine. Like, just put the fucking borders on the side. Yeah, we're all good. Like, yeah. And just having the online aspect of it like hooked into Steam, where it's like, okay, now you can play with all these people. Where just like back then you had to know another PSP or Vita player.
Oh my god, yeah.
They should call the next Master Collection Volume 3 so that players will ask what happened to Master Collection Volume 2.
Yeah, oh my god, MGS2 fun facts in the house. Oh
it would have a big impact.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when there's like an ancient interview where Kojima was like, I'm thinking about making a certain type of game, a new genre. I want to call it a raw type game. It's like, what are you talking about? Raw type game?
I have a very vague recollection of this. Yeah.
No, but I need to find that interview right now. That's so funny.
This game's gonna be talking about real stuff, raw stuff.
It's a raw. Oh yeah, some raw stuff. Oh my god, that's like my favorite meme. Oh my god.
God, when they were doing MGS2, I wish I could find the source for this because I remember it clear as day, but I can't remember what it was from. But he had talked about, like, during MGS2's development, he was throwing out all sorts of, well, yeah, we thought this might be cool and this might be, like, they couldn't shut him up at first. Might be why he kind of went submerged for a while, but
yeah,
he said at one point that they were thinking about making a temperature changing controller.
Oh my god.
And I've never been able to find a source for it, but I know he said that. Do you remember this at all? Does anybody remember this?
I don't remember the temperature change controller, but I did in my Lifeline video, I stumbled into the voice control idea that he had for a little bit. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad that he did not do that. He did not do that.
He wanted the controller to shock you in MGS3, right? It was like you would get hit by Volgan's attacks.
That was in one of them, yeah.
And the controller would electrocute you.
He played that Uncle Fester game at Chuck E. Cheese too much, or saw that.
Oh,
I got an idea.
Can you imagine?
Yo, he kind of did that shit in PT. Talking in the mic and
yeah. He's always thinking outside of the box, and I think that's what's really cool about Kojima. Like, there's always, like, even if it's like not an idea that he can like fully complete, like, there's always something going on, like Psycho Mantis and just like the Colonel being like, turn the game console off, like like it's always fun.
Even going back to like Snatcher, like him telling you to like turn the volume up because you can barely hear that little beep, and then all of a sudden it's just like blah, like super loud. You're like,
exactly.
God damn it, Kojima, like you fucking bastard.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, you think that's wild? Put Snatcher something he couldn't do, but apparently at least looked into was
the blood thing.
They wanted to coat the disc in a substance that when it spun up to a certain speed, it would heat the disc and smell like blood.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
He's always doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great. I hope that he does more crazy shit like that with the upcoming games for sure that he's working on. Yeah, I want to ask you guys a question because I'm not completely sure I know the answer. How do you guys feel about Death Stranding? What's y'all's opinion?
Episode 1 has a great
Okay.
To use the game itself as a metaphor, I feel like I could never catch my footing with regards to this story. I could never get a grip on what it was trying to do or like where I was in the world because it never gave me enough information. I'm not saying I want an information dump because when you're given an information dump, what you get is Metal Gear Solid 4. I just wanted enough information so that I didn't feel lost in this world. I mean, can you define what is the Death Stranding? We have a description of things that the Death Stranding caused, but not what it is.
Yeah, we were like something to do with the baby and then with the cancer and the ha and the ka and something that upset the balance and caused an explosion and she got stuck on the beach and so it just sounds like a rambling homeless person kind of like it doesn't come together where I'm like cool.
Right, it never snaps into focus. It never snaps into focus.
No,
I'm very happy he got to make the game he wanted to make.
Gotcha.
I will. Okay, I'm gonna preface this with, at first I thought I was gonna slog through the gameplay to get through the story, and then it turned out that I was slogging through the story to get through the gameplay, in a sense that I loved the aesthetic. I loved it. It was very theatrical, not in a Kojima those long ass cutscenes theatrical. It felt like with the soundtrack and the presentation, it felt like I was in sort of like a full production that. I don't know. There's something very epic about it. I know epic's an overused word.
Cinematic too. Yeah,
cinematic, yeah. There's something very cinematic. It felt like when I used to watch old action movies and then buy the soundtrack and listen to that as a kid.
Yeah. He wasn't held back at all. Yeah.
All that to say, you know, I it was a very ethereal experience for me, and I won't forget it. And it was great. But you know, I understand why people, especially people who are coming from Metal Gear, might not be a fan.
Yeah.
It's so esoteric to a fault in so many ways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I never feel grounded in anything that's going on in the story.
Yeah.
I know I've talked about this before, but it sort of reminds me of Final Fantasy 13, where they're dropping like new terminology on you every 5 seconds, and you have to sort of intuit what they're talking about before they explain it.
And that is a very great descriptor of what I meant by like slogging through the story. Is like I just want to give the old man his weed, you know?
Yeah.
I'm assuming his weed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that gameplay loop. I played like relentlessly, you know, got all the stars that I could and per every area, and then like crawled through and just played it like a completionist. And then they're talking about Ha, and the Kyle's like, what the fuck? All right, yeah, whatever. And just,
I was
that's kind of how I played
checked
it.
Out. I was checked out when they were talking about that.
It never really, like Nitroid said before, it never really like locked into focus, like what is a Death Stranding exactly. But hopefully this has kind of just been a big setup for 2 to come in and really like connect it all together. And then we go, oh, okay, this all makes more sense now. Like
Sam needed to be the everyman. He needed to not know what the world, like what the rules of the world were, so that you could learn through him. I think that would have helped a lot.
Yeah, totally.
I think it was dog shit, but I bet all of you $5 each that we both like the second game. I will bet all of you right now $5 that we both like the second game and we both say it's good. I think
at least like it more.
I think the sequel is going to bang so hard, and you know, this is just my prediction, my guess, because my God, the man can make second games in a franchise.
Yeah, he nails it the second time around.
You know what my galaxy brain theory is? You're gonna play the game for about, I was gonna say 1 hour. You're gonna play this game for maybe 10 hours as Sam.
Oh shit.
And then he's gonna fall into the tar lake, and then you're gonna switch to Fragile and play
or
Lou, maybe, yeah,
or Lou, yeah, totally. You're gonna play the whole rest of the game,
and that's I think I have a broken record when I say this, but it goes into like the whole thing about like Kojima curates your experience from the moment you see that first trailer to your end result credits, and even sometimes after that. And in a way, like, you know, it's always interesting when you already have this high set of expectations for him, because he always knows how to turn it into something that exceeds your expectations but is in a totally different direction. And that's what I'm looking forward to as far as the sequel experience for Death Stranding.
Yeah, for sure.
God, I feel like he's projecting that Elle Fanning is Lou so hard that it's probably not Lou, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, yeah. It'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not that. And then someone else shows up, like another, like, extremely famous Hollywood actor.
Right, how many are we at now? Like at least a dozen.
Yeah, it's like every other day.
I don't believe that Mr. Kojima would trick us.
Kojima-san?
I trust him.
Uncle Koji? No. Oh my god.
Uncle Koji, I like that.
He's gonna trick me again? Oh. Yeah, I think the trailer that they put out looked really cool. I was like, oh my god, this looks awesome. I like and you know, speaking of Devil May Cry, he does have Shimomura. Oh my god, what's his first name? I forgot. The guy who did the cinematic direction for Devil May Cry's 1, 2, 3.
Yuji Shimomura,
yeah, and also Bayonetta. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the biggest pop off for me when I watched that trailer and his name showed up, and I was like, oh my god, the cutscenes are going to be insane. Like they're going to be crazy, you know?
Yeah, I just thought like The whole time I loved the Death Stranding 2 trailer, but the whole time I was just like, only he can get away with this. If anyone else did this, everyone would be shitting on it from all sorts of angles, be catching strays from everywhere. But I don't know. I guess you kind of trust him to take a game there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting that he's got Yuji Shimomura like doing the cutscenes now. I don't know how you guys feel about Kojima's recent I'm not the biggest fan of it. The way he, and this is such a technical topic, but the way he shoots the cutscenes in his recent games, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And I think I only realized that when I replayed Phantom Pain. Like the way,
like the long shot, like where it doesn't cut.
Yeah, everything's a long shot.
Well, shaky cam and MGSV. Yeah.
There's a lot of shaky cam, but there's also like a lot of really, and he dialed this back in Death Stranding, but there's a lot of like awkward, like, look at this item. You see the item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is what it's going to do now, you know, and then you see like the cameraman shaking away from that item, you know, like the example that I have is like when Skullface tells all the guys to take off the patches, and then the guy drops them. He shows the camera so clearly for like 10 seconds, and then he drops them. Like there's so much of that.
Not subtle, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a lack of subtlety where I feel like before it was a little more traditional. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
go watch the scene where Snake sort of encounters Skullface in Sahelanthropus's hangar, and there's like this back and forth between like a shot of Venom and a shot of Skullface. I think it's Skullface. All I remember is like the camera is like going back and forth between the characters so fast and so many times that I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just it's weird. It's just something I noticed. Like,
yeah, it definitely gets old. At like there needs to be like it's fine to cut. Like you don't have to prove the point.
Yeah.
Like you showed that you did it. I do like the misdirects that
it's modern Hollywood.
The misdirect stuff, like when there's following Ishmael through the crowd, and you're like, oh, there's the guy with the butt. Okay, following him. Wait, where'd he go?
My God,
shit. Or like
the guy with the butt.
Yeah. I know that butt. All right. Yeah, we all said that. We're like, okay, got it. I'll remember that butt. We've all played Metal Gear. We know to pay attention.
We gotta go.
I'll go on ahead. Look at my ass.
Okay.
So, but the other time was when, like Psycho Mantis first shows up in the elevator scene. Like, it's like, there's a quick little like pan to the left, and all of a sudden he's right there. It's just like, I don't know. He did it really smooth. Like where all of a sudden you're like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, was he there the whole time?
Yeah.
And I could, you can kind of slow it down and be like, nope,
sure.
there's the little like cover that side of the screen. And then here we are.
Yeah,
so it's like, he is doing those little Hollywood tricks and stuff, but it's a little too much. He needs to dial it in.
Yeah.
Kojima needs an editor for sure. I think that's the best thing he can have.
He needs a protection from himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, he pulls ideas from modern Hollywood movies, whatever he's into at the time. He sort of is like, that's cool, let's put it in, which is endearing. That's kind of what makes him so much fun. But
it's a fine line between endearing and derivative, though.
Yeah, and it's a lot more novel when we're talking about movies from the 80s and 90s and 2000s, but modern Hollywood is sort of, as you said, so derivative that you're like, okay, I've seen this in about 8 other movies at this point.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really not as impressive, I guess, when you're like moving a video game camera around. It's like, hey, it's impressive because it's in real life and these guys didn't cut. Like you realize like they didn't get a break. They all had to stay in character even though he like broke glass in his thumb. Like they kept rolling. That's the impressive part. He's like, no, but we
see that cutscene. We did all that in a single shot.
Yeah. They didn't break. They didn't need a rest.
You thought he was doing Goodfellas again?
Oh my God. It's like, sir, I have literally done performance capture, and I know for a fact that you do not do anything in one shot. You do not do a fucking thing in one shot.
3-second burst. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's the magic of of making a game, is that you can really make it look seamless. Stitch everything together.
Do you have that moment now where, like, because of the amount of times you've played some games where you hear where they've edited the line?
100%.
When they do the line, like you hear the
Yeah, and I have these thoughts now where like it's really funny because like there are a few times where I've like replayed it just for fun, like RE2 remake or RE4 remake, and I'll be like, that was definitely like a first take or like a third take, and then like
Yeah.
I'll literally like text the person and be like, hey, do you remember if that was like the first take and like it wasn't very good? And like the person will respond and be like, God, I fucking hate that they chose that take, like,
yeah.
and
It's like some Franken cut of the first and the third take thrown together, and it's just like, that doesn't even sound right. I hadn't even cleared my throat yet. I'm like, God
that's
damn
what
it.
I'm like. Yeah, that's what I'm like shaking back and forth in my chair, and I'm like, God, they're gonna do that to me. They're gonna do that to me.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Give them only good cuts. That's the key.
Yeah.
Never give a bad take. Sorted. I've solved this for you.
I'll try my best.
It's simple.
Pro tips here. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that stutter in just to prove a point. Fuck you. It's hard.
I just thought the character was like the situation called for like being under a lot of stress. So like, yeah, I kept the stutters in. I totally wasn't flubbing my lines or anything. They're
gonna be like, great, we'll put it in. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, wait. There were a few moments like that when I finally played. For those of you who don't know, I was in Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty. I had a few moments like that where I was like, oh, that was the first time I did that line, and it wasn't to my liking, and
oh my gosh,
that kind of sucks. But then like I hear the rest of the lines, and I'm like, oh, but they chose the good ones that I wanted them to choose, so that's I like that, and then like there, I've talked about it before, and I got permission to talk about it, but like there was like a whole thing that got cut out, because they just wanted it to be like they wanted my part of the game to be like funnier, I guess, like and there was like kind of like a depressing thing that was there originally, and I was like really proud of that, and then it just wasn't in the game, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Do you think it was the right choice overall, or are you mad at them for cutting it?
No, I'm not.
I'm joking.
I'm not mad at them. Wink, wink. But no, I think it was the right choice overall, because the rest of that quest is very stupid and very silly, So like, if they had kept it in, I think it would have been a little jarring. Because like the it's kind of like my part is like all the setup, and then what you go to is like the punchline, So like it's like set up in a way that you're supposed to go in expecting something like hard, like way worse than it actually is, but when you get there, it's like the dumbest thing ever. So like if there was like all this sad stuff, like it would have been, I think it would have just felt a little tonally inconsistent.
I'm so glad you didn't spoil it, because I did play through Cyberpunk when it first launched on a PS4. Zero issues. Enjoyed it, like non-ironically. Seriously, I had a fucking blast with that game. And then when they were like,
buy a lottery
then
ticket,
they were like, we made it better. And I watched all of your 2.0 video, and I'm sitting there going, man, this game sounds so fucking cool now. Like I really want to dive back in.
Yeah.
And then it's been in the backlog. I'm just sitting there going, I really want to revisit that game soon. And just on the PS5 and just have it that way. And it's just like, this is gonna be the way to play it. Like,
it is. I'll just say, I'm not coming at this from a biased perspective, because I worked on this franchise multiple times, but it is much better. It is like a much, much better video game than it was.
Yeah, and I had a blast with the base experience. So I was just sitting there like, I don't know. And that's it. Like when things are promised and trailers are shown, they're like, here's what we wanted to do, and then the system limits, like I get it. Like I
you know what it's gonna feel like? I'll give you this comparison. The version of the game that you played is like the early 2010s, like Uncharted, like scripted linear version of the game that exists now. Like when you play it now, like you can like buy multiple apartments, and like they all look different, and you can invite your significant other over to your apartment and hang out and like eat food with them, and then you could like go downstairs and get in your car and drive to the store, or drive to a bar and sit at the bar, and like the bartender talks to you, and like it's just or you could get on the train, and like every stop is like detailed, and different things happen when you sit on the train.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful game to just like look at stuff
Yeah.
and just sit in. And I love that world.
It's
It was
much different now, and definitely I highly recommend
more like
checking it
organic
out.
for sure. And just like, yeah, it seemed a
Yeah.
little empty. That was, I was like, all right,
It's
where's everybody
very
at? Like
empty,
when I was
yeah.
first playing it. Yeah. But now like
Yeah.
and that's the sad thing about these games. Like they really just need to give them their time to really like see the full vision out instead of just rushing them out to
It's
hit
it's
that
very
mark.
sad, and I can, I could speak from personal experience working on the better version of Cyberpunk. Was that like that was like the main directive, when they were
Mhm.
making that game, and it was just, we need more time. Give us all the time
Yeah.
that we need to make this video game. And thankfully, the shareholders and producers and whoever, all the people at the top making the decisions were like, okay, we will give you all the time, that you
Yeah.
need. And like
It was worth it. Yeah.
when I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they finally released it, the updated version on disc, they
Mhm.
actually delayed it so they can get another patch out
That's awesome.
that like had even more content and more fixes on it. So like when you buy that game on a disc, you're getting like the best possible version of it now, which is like, it
Hell yeah.
sucks that you have to like release a game under the most stress any team has ever experienced
Yeah.
and then get like lambasted and death threats and like just beyond like mistreated on the internet,
Mhm.
and then have to wait another 3 years to finally make the game you wanted to make. Like it's insane. It's crazy.
Everybody's cussing you out while you're like busting ass working on it. It's
Yeah,
like, hold on, guys,
it's-
we can't announce it yet. Just
I
hold
can't
on.
even tell you the stories that I've heard from
Yeah.
people on that team. Just insane things happened to
People
them.
need to be nice.
Yeah.
But the thing about you fingers though is like, and I mean this genuinely. Have you ever seen in a cartoon where a character sleepwalking and they go through all the traps and everything, and it all misses them? That's like fingers. He'll play like a fucked up game, and he'll be like, it was great for me, and he means it as well. Like he's not
Yeah.
like trying to cover for it. He'll have a perfect experience with the most fucked up game going, and he won't
Yeah.
see any of the flaw. Like I think it's just because you play games so earnestly. You're just like, this is what the
Oh my
developer would want me to do.
Yeah, I see the jank. Like I'm not blind to it. Like I'm not just like, oh, what do you mean? Like, oh, I didn't know there's gonna be broken frame rate. Like no, like I see the frame rate slow down and all that shit. Like and that's like I played the Phantom Pain on PS3. Like and then when I played it on PS4, I was like, oh, what an upgrade. And then when I played it on PC, I went, holy shit,
it's
what an
because-
upgrade. But
it's
like
because-
playing that first version, I respect it, Apache. I know
Yeah,
why you
no.
play that first version. It's like I want the jank. Give me all of the jank. I don't give a fuck. It's video games. Like
I just think it's so beautiful whenever you talk about a game. You're like, I played Cyberpunk when it came out. Like one of the
I am
most
the butters of the group. I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
had fun, so
Yeah.
it didn't matter, I
Oh
guess.
my god.
like one of
Yeah.
the most lambasted games in history, and you're just like, I had a fucking great time, and you mean it as well, man.
I had a
You
great
mean
time. I
it.
don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all are mad about Konami and health insurance policies. I'm over here just shredding Wanderers with my fucking Metal Gear X, having a good time, unbothered
All
in
right.
my lane. I don't know. Seems like a good mindset.
Man.
You guys are like, well, the art direction is.
You gotta-
actually-" All right, no, I'm not gonna give y'all shit. Y'all
No,
do your
no,
thing.
no.
I appreciate
no, 100%, dude. You're right. You're right. You're right. Man.
It's just a lifestyle, man.
Dude, okay, I could make fun of you, but instead I'm just gonna say you really got to go back and play No Man's Sky now.
I did play it for a quick bit on Game
Oh my
Pass, and I was
god!
like,
Please
yeah,
tell
man,
me
this
about
is
your
better.
first. Please tell me about your first fucking experience playing No Man's Sky. Did you not get the criticism at all? Did you think it was great?
I just watched a buddy play it and I was like, oh, this seems kind of boring. And this is like,
Oh,
I don't want
right.
to do crafting stuff.
Damn,
You know
I'm
what,
so good.
y'all?
Yeah.
I actually relate to Fingers, but I can't say with what game because I've made such a nice friend this evening. I don't want to lose her this
No,
fast.
no, ruin it. Get
I
it off
know.
your chest.
I
Tell
know
her.
what you're-
Tell her.
Do
Can
it.
Can I take a guess at what it is?
Oh God, here we go.
Is it because I can't
I'll back you up, Days.
No, you won't.
I had fun with it too.
the only game that I can think of that would actively make me be like, okay, maybe I don't want to talk to you anymore is the third birthday.
No, it's not third birthday.
Okay.
But you're
No,
kind
you're
of
good.
close.
You're safe.
It
Oh my
was.
god, when she said
it's-
third, I was like, holy shit.
third had my heart beating.
Yeah, my heart was dropping. I have very fond memories of the Resi 3 remake, and I totally understand people's criticisms. I'm so afraid.
Oh, what do you? I'm not. No. I like that game. I like that game a lot.
Are you telling me I've been so afraid to watch your video for like so long?
Oh, No.
Because I saw the thumbnail and you didn't really have a happy face, and I'm like, oh fuck.
No, I actually like that game a lot. I love Jill in that game, and I think that, like the problems that I have with it are the obvious problems, like just, downtown is like the best part of the game, and it feels truly open-ended and interconnected, and then it goes on rails, and then Nemesis is like not really there, and all of that stuff, like everything we've all heard a million times. No, but I definitely like that game. I wouldn't have replayed it a million times if I didn't like it.
Personally, I'm just a sucker for very masochistic situations, and when you put a very unfair boss and then you have to beat a stupid QTE, otherwise you have to do the boss again. I don't know, there's something very endearing about it. And I also very much loved I'm so sick of this shit, Jill.
Oh yeah, I love in the end when you are fighting Wall Nemesis, and
yes,
and you shoot him. I think you shoot him like twice, and she goes, "You think I don't know how to fuck you up?" Like it's like all of the stress is coming out in that moment. I love it.
Can't you learn how to take a fucking hit or some shit like that? It's great.
I do.
Yeah.
I will say probably my biggest issue with that game is that they completely ruined the placement of "you want stars, I'll give you stars." Like, I don't know why the fuck it's optional.
It's optional, yeah. And there's like an 8 out of 10 chance you're probably gonna get slapped before the voice line finishes. It's so weird.
That line for me is like, I don't know if you guys feel this way about original RE3. Original RE3 is my second favorite Resident Evil game. That game is like the ultimate, to me, it's like the ultimate, like, I know we're probably going to get some mean comments when I say this word. It's like the ultimate, like, feminist, like, power fantasy, where, like, Nemesis as a creature is like this, smart pursuer who's just saying one thing over and over again. He wants one thing from you over and over again, and he's like 10 feet tall, and like this like comical, like almost comical, like stereotypical, like man-shaped like silhouette, chasing this, like, I don't want to say poorly dressed, because I don't think she's poorly dressed, but just like, like, I don't know, casually dressed woman. And like the fucking just the amount of stress that he puts you and Jill through that entire game. He literally infects her, and she fucking comes back from it. To have her just turn the tables on this, like, on the most imposing thing that is now a fucking festering blob on the ground, with the one word that he's been saying the entire game, is like the ultimate form of catharsis to me. And the fact that they took that moment and they put it in a fucking hallway where nobody has ever heard it except for me, after fucking reloading the save file 18 times in a row, boggles my fucking mind. That's my little rant for RE3 Remake. Other than that, I like the game a lot.
And I do love what you said about, sort of the representation, because one of my favorite parts about your RE3 video, I did watch their OG RE3 video, was that you talked about how it's a great tale about overcoming adversity, and it inspired you to overcome adversity. And I was like, wow, this is so inspiring. But also, I bet she fucking hates the remake. I'm so afraid to watch her video about the remake. So now that I know, and now that I'm not afraid anymore, because I can't get away from hatred from that game, I will take a nice swig of some Uncle Nearest, and I'm gonna watch that video tonight.
You can definitely watch it. I like that game. I like to wear the Stars outfit, the Stars uniform, and I use the samurai edge, and I'm like, okay, like, this is enough for me, like, this is enough for me. So yeah, no, you're good.
I don't have much to add here other than Resident Evil 3. I love it, and it's the only game that's ever made me throw a controller in fear.
Oh my god, yeah.
When Nemesis comes through the fucking wall in RPD.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
I mean, yeah, you would hear that disc load up back then and be like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
What's going on, PlayStation? Oh no.
I my favorite thing about RE3 is it's essentially like some kind of hell that speedrunners go to, because it's just like a casino where they play it until they get the right look. and every single room is a gamble, and then people will like have it as their main game forever. And I'll watch people play that game for hours. I love it. Like it is an evil speedrun game.
How much it branches too. Like I bet like there's just so many possibilities to fuck you over. Like
At the highest level, it's like you open the door and the zombies are in a certain position. It's like your run's fucked. Go back to the start. Try again.
Yeah, there are moments where like you'll see speedrunners like enter a room and there won't be like a specific gunpowder on the table, and it's like, well, that's it.
Back to the start.
We go again. F9. Like that's what it is.
Biohazard.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask. So what's up with the third birthday?
Oh, we need to watch that video. We're gonna watch that.
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, just watch that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about it. It's do you know what it is? Do you guys know what that is? Third birthday?
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's just Parasite Eve 1 is
great.
The first Parasite Eve game is one of my favorite games, and I'm from New York. It's a New York game. It has a lot of nostalgia and like cultural significance. It's like a combination of RE2 and FF7. It's like those two games had a baby and created this weird like survival horror JRPG with fucking amazing music, like banging music,
I know, right?
And the story, I feel, is also just like amazing. Like I think it's like a beautifully well told story. And like myself being from New York and like seeing like the character Daniel, for example, like deal with like his son as like a single father and all that. Like it's so like real and like grounded to me. And then, Parasite Eve 2 comes out and I don't really like that game a whole lot. Like it's a little too anime for me. But then Parasite Eve 3, the third birthday, it I watched the trailers and I was like, okay, we're back in New York. Aya Brea looks great. I love her outfit. It's like an over-the-shoulder kind of like RE4 style, game. And then I play it and it's just like the worst fucking thing ever made. Like the biggest character assassination. Like,
okay, we're on the same page. Okay.
I can't even I'm rubbing my temples again. Like I can't even like process like what is the decision making behind like the twist of that game. And I'm not going to say it, for obvious reasons, like spoilers, because I want people to kind of experience that, like whether it's like them playing the game for themselves or just watching a playthrough or watching my video. But like to say it's problematic is like an understatement. It's like an extraordinary understatement. Like what happens in that game, like it's like a crazy person, like a clinically insane person wrote that game and like thought it was okay to like be like, oh yeah, this is Aya Brea. This is like the third Parasite Eve game. Like it's bizarre.
It's so bizarrely, it's bizarrely detached from anything you would even begin to recognize and just I don't even know where to start.
And like I know a lot of people say that, right? Like they actually use that as like a why do you care so much? Like it's not like it's so detached from but like it's not though. Like it's the same characters, it's the same setting.
Yeah, because you care about the characters,
Yeah.
you care about the setting, you care about the story and where things are going. And if this is where it ends up, like what was this all for?
What was it all for? Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
It's like the third Dino Crisis. You're just like,
Oh, we're not
my
talking
God,
about
yeah.
that one.
Oh my God.
Did you ever it's so bizarre, like Parasite Eve in general is kind of bizarre because Square just decided, hey, we're gonna take this novel and make a sequel out of it. I've never read the novel. I've seen the original film of it though.
Yeah, I did read the novel and I did watch the movie, and I like the novel a lot. I think it's fantastic. The movie's a little, like it almost feels like
it's hokey.
It's
Yeah.
like a direct to DVD quality
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a similar experience, like the same kind of like plot beats and everything. I kind of love it. It does make sense to me because Parasite Eve was a cultural phenomenon in Japan. So Square Enix like deciding to do that makes sense. I think when you look at it like through like an American lens, it gets a little weird because like the novel did release here, so like it would be possible to get a hold of it back then. But how many people actually did that? Probably not many people.
Yeah,
So,
it was kind of unknown here. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
I don't want to acknowledge the third birthday, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'd never even
just
heard of
like
that game. That's I was sitting there like Googling. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all? I'm like,
Yeah,
it's a PSP. Like,
I have such a charmed life. I've played Parasite Eve 1, and that's it.
yeah, like I played the first two, but
you
I
don't need
just
anything else.
Yeah, they never made a third.
I wasn't locked in on PSP. Like when all those games came out, I was just
Yeah.
they just came and went. But
Just like they never made a Breath of Fire 6.
Oh yeah, Breath of Ire.
Yeah, we're not. Oh yeah, I'm not. They stopped at. I'll be nice and I'll say they stopped at 5 because I know Tim Rogers really likes that game.
Nitroid, did you ever play Dead Rising 3?
No, I did not.
Because
Dead Rising is weirdly the series I've never really gotten into. I've played a bit of 1, a bit of 2, and that's about it.
Played the first one. It's one of the best games ever made. Oh, shit.
Agreed.
I agree with that statement too. Yeah. I think Dead Rising 3. There's a DLC for it where you play as like a bunch of different. Well, you play as all the main characters of the Dead Rising franchise, but they can wear different costumes. And there's a Breath of Fire costume.
Get the fuck out.
And I think that might be the last time Capcom has ever acknowledged Breath of Fire.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah.
oh, that's sad.
Speaking of co-op and Dead Rising,
Yeah.
Apache, at some point, did you ever want to play, didn't they have co-op for that at some point?
Yeah, in Dead Rising 2 and 3, I believe.
Yeah,
I probably should have asked them this offline, but
I would definitely be down to play any game co-op with you because it's the only time I actually play games like for a game. It's so fun. It's so fucking fun. I obviously I watched a video on the Dead Rising remaster remake.
yes.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm most excited for is when you were like, oh, you can save the costumes. You don't have to keep going and getting them. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. That's actually a fantastic new feature. Like I think all the quality of life in that game is really good. It's just a lot of the artistic and creative decisions. Like,
Why does Frank sound like he does?
I brought up Delta in that video. I was like, hey, like Delta is more of a remake than this game, and it's using its entire like voice track. Like, why can't this game do that? Like, you know what I mean?
Susan, we could probably talk to you all night. But we've been
This is
running
fantastic.
about 2 hours. Yeah, we've been having so much fun.
I love
We
that.
can keep it going for sure. But this is a podcast. We do gotta wind it down here. So if you wanted to plug where people can watch all your videos and follow you online, that's normally how we kind of close it out here. You know the drill.
Yeah, sure thing. So you can find me on social media. I am at the Sphere Hunter on Twitter. I am _Sphere_Hunter on Instagram. My YouTube channel is just the Sphere Hunter. Same for my Twitch. And I do have a Patreon if you guys want to support me there as well. And I will do a little bit of a teaser and leave leave the listeners off on hey, maybe you'll hear or even see me in some upcoming video games. We'll see. some cool projects I've been working on for
Hell yeah.
what
Super
feels
excited.
like forever as video games go.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Oh my gosh. It's such an honor. Thank you so much.
Survive was okay. I'm all right. I got my.
Survive is okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Third birthday sucks.
God.
Everybody's validated today.
I feel like I've earned my Resident Evil card today.
Oh, you absolutely have, and you have nothing to worry about. The boulder punching scene is fantastic. I will never hate that scene, ever.